Hello, I'm Todd Phillips, the editor of Canadian Auto Dealer. We're here today with Farid Ahmad and Maria Soklis. Maria, Farid, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having us, Todd.
Thanks for the invitation, Todd. It's a pleasure to be here.
Well, it's great to see you both. And Farid, maybe I'll start with you. Some news, I guess the industry was found out last week that Maria had joined the team at DSMA, Dealer Solutions Mergers and Acquisitions. So fantastic news for the industry that Maria's back. Tell us a bit about the decision and how you came about bringing Maria on board.
Sure. Well, I've got to tell you, I've made some good decisions while growing Dealer Solutions, but so proud of this decision, and so is the rest of our company. The reason we made the decision, Todd, is, very much like we advise our business clients that are really what we call their mom and pop businesses. We were about 3 years ago, a mom and pop business in all intents and purposes. Over the last 3 years, we've seen dramatic growth and exposure into areas that we could only have dreamed of 3 years ago. That's including our relationships and development of corporate relationships, such as the manufacturers and banking. And I felt it was essential to bring on somebody that had immense credibility, because this world that we're in has a reputation where it can lack a bit of credibility. So we wanted to bring on somebody that has immense credibility, somebody that has a real global perspective on the automotive industry, because we don't see boundaries to the growth of our business. The limitation that we have is hiring and retaining the right people. So when I reached out to Maria very kindly agreed to meet me for a cup of coffee. I'd known Maria for many, many years. And in my earlier years, she gave me a few legs up and I never forgot it. And we talked, and I was building an advisory board, which we do have now. And I brought some great minds in the automotive industry that helped guide us and in part have got us where we are today. Invited Maria to join that board, and one conversation led to another. And Max and I felt that Maria was the perfect person to bring on as an EVP. And I think our future together is looking very rosy.
Well, great. This is a nice opportunity for me. I get to talk to two of my favorite people in the industry right here at once. So, and Maria, over to you. I know we all wondered and speculated, I suppose, we being the industry, those of who speculate on such things, where you might end up. I know you stepped away from Cox Canada, and we're waiting to see, where you might resurface. And so why the decision with DSMA? Why was it a good fit for you personally, where you are now in your journey?
You know what, Todd, I've been really lucky, and I've been blessed with all of the different OEMs and organizations that I've worked with. They've offered me a great career, but I've also been able to build my knowledge and skill set. After spending, the better course of 20 years with two manufacturers and then moving on to Cox, when I left Cox, I wasn't sure that I was going to come back to the industry. But I think that sitting on Farid's advisory board for DSMA made me realize just how attached I am to the industry. So I was really enjoying my advisory board role, and one thing led to another, as Farid said, and he and his partner Max made me an offer. And you know what? I was at the point in my career where I really did want to try something new. And the company, DSMA, has been doing so well. So it was a healthy company, and one that was starting to grow in the US and had a lot of potential, or showed a lot of potential to also grow beyond the US, so globally. So as a result of that, and the skill set that I had acquired in the course of the last 25 years, I thought there was a huge opportunity to join the team and to help them take the business to the next level. But it was also really important to me that there was a good chemistry and a good fit between Farid and Max and myself and their team. And I'll tell you that it's my second week here. And if this is an indication of what's to come, I've absolutely made the right decision. And I can hardly wait to support Farid and Max and the team and a lot of the dealers and the lenders and the OEMs in the course of our business.
Well, that's fantastic. The automotive industry has a way of grabbing a hold of people, and yeah, people come back to it. And I guess maybe if I'm not telling tales out of school, I might break another story we're working on here. Is that I understand you're also going to be joining the board of the Automotive Business School of Canada. So I think you're going to be knee deep in the automotive world as well. So Farid, I've got a question for you while I've got you here. It's been a very interesting time in the buy sell marketplace, and dealers are always keen to hear your insights and those of
Sure.
people working for your company about the I would call the cross-border shopping that's now happening. Canadian firms looking the US and US firms buying Canadian dealerships. Overall, where do you see that trend going in the coming year and the years to come?
Well, actually, it's just like any great opportunity. It started at a very slow pace. There was one dealer that bought their first dealership in the United States, so a bit of the pioneer side. But now I'm working right now with maybe 11 dealer groups right now that are seriously either acquiring or looking at assets in the United States. So I see that trend continuing. On the reverse side of things, we all know about the amazing entry Lithia made into Canada. I'm not too sure how many more dealer groups will come. I don't think there'll be a flood of publicly traded groups in the United States coming to Canada, but I certainly do speak to 2 or 3 others that are very seriously looking at it. So I think the trend is going to continue, Todd, as long as the valuations are coming out the way they do. And what I mean by that is right now it's very good value to buy a dealership in the United States as far as multiples go.
And it's an interesting time. There's no inventory to sell. I mean, that's sort of taking care of itself a little bit, but yet the dealership valuations are very high. Last year was a record year for a lot of dealers. So if you're a seller, I guess this is a pretty opportune time, right? Still.
Yeah, there's been a bit of a flip for us. Our trend was typically over 50% of all the transactions we did was for retirement purposes, and about 37% were people that were growing and developing. Well, that's actually flipped now. There's less retirees selling at the present moment because everybody is enjoying the fruits of their labor through this very unique time called the COVID time. However, what we do anticipate, we'll certainly see in the near future, is once this inventory situation has balanced out, I think we'll go back to the norm, and more dealers that were looking and thinking about retiring and getting out the business, that will pick up again.
One follow-up question. I mean, we write an awful lot in Canadian Auto Dealer about the transition to a more digital, different customer experience, different retail models coming, maybe OEMs trying to seize a little more control over the customer experience and such. And our dealers anxious about, maybe getting out before the game changes too much. But my sense is they're pretty entrepreneurial and they roll with the punches and are always looking to sort of adapt. Is that your sense in the dealers that you talk to?
Yeah, what's going to be prohibitive of dealers staying in the business in the future is the cost of such things as technology you're talking about. But the manufacturers are also raising their expectations on the imaging of their facilities, and we all know how expensive that can be. So a lot of people, I think, are balancing out what's going to be happening. There's this conversation about the agency model. Is that going to come to Canada like it's been in Australia? That's creating doubt. What is the electric vehicle and how is that going to impact the retail space? And also, let's face it, property is going through the roof. Is there better usage for your property? So these are all the sort of aspects of the conversations we're having with dealers right now.
And Maria, maybe a follow-up question to you on that. You've worked with dealers certainly in your role at Cox over the last number of years as well. What's your sense of their risk aversion or their sense of opportunity in the market now? I mean, they're a pretty entrepreneurial bunch. And what's your sense of where dealers are at right now?
They are, and I think dealers do roll with the punches. I think the question of risk aversion becomes more one of just how well capitalized they are, because I think the dealers that are going to be sustainable into the future are the ones that are better capitalized, because as Farid said, there are intense expectations from the manufacturers as a result of a lot of the trends that we are seeing and the changes that we're seeing in the industry, be it alternative drivetrains or electrification, you know, and there's a ton more, obviously. But I think that because of the pressure that the manufacturers are imposing on the dealers really need to stop and take a really hard think about whether or not it makes sense financially for them to continue. And if not, this could be the optimal opportunity, with the valuations coming out as strongly as they are, for them to sell their business and move forward and do something different. I think it's going to change tremendously from the past. But I think that with organizations like DSMA, who have been so successful in supporting dealers through these transitions, that they will be able to find good solutions and good succession plans and areas to, you know, kind of transition themselves out of the industry from.
Well, I appreciate the chat with both of you. I could talk with both of you all day. There's a wealth of knowledge sitting there at the table, and I'm sure that'll serve well for your dealer clients going forward. And when it comes time to buying or selling, I guess a very powerful team over there at DSMA. And congratulations to both of you on this new move. And look forward to meeting you again at an industry event or in-person event at some time soon.
Todd, you've always done a great job for the automotive industry. You've been its greatest advocate in the automotive industry. I think your articles that you write are very spot on and they're very timely. So thank you very much for your time. Maria and I greatly appreciate it. And please, can people stop calling Maria? Maria's phone's ringing off the hook here and it's driving everybody nuts. So please slow down, people.
Okay, well, I'll do my best. We're going to publish this interview and the phone will ring again for a while. I can't control that.
There you go.
Thanks so much, Todd. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Good seeing you both. Thank you.
Very much. Thank you.